pink champagne. I'm totally.
Hi guys, CeeChronicles here. Welcome to the channel. I post fragrance related content on this platform and do invite you to subscribe and join the family if you're new. And if you're returning, thank you so much guys for the continued support. I have a couple of fragrances I want to talk about here, some from Gulf Orchid and some from Maison Asrar. And Gulf Orchid and Maison Asrar are sister companies. That's why I put the fragrances together, right? And the fragrances I'm going to be talking about are in decant form, guys. Look, there's plenty there to test out. And speaking of decants, if you would like to purchase some of the Middle Eastern fragrances to test out before you go full on, Nikki Purposeful Life has got a fragrance decant company. Her company is called SWP Health and Beauty.com. I'm going to link it in the description, but if you go on SWP Health and Beauty, it's going to take you to Nikki Purposeful Life's store. She is also a YouTuber. She talks about fragrances a lot. She has got a huge collection, Middle Eastern, all sorts, right? And she will be able to sell you some of these fragrances to try out before you can commit. Now, this is Maison Asrar Joy. I started with this one, guys, because we have good news. I've been just bubbling. I don't know if you watched my previous video. I have just been over the moon because we have now our second fragrance. I will let you know, we've been having challenges with shipping, which is something that's going on around the world. This is why I'm not able to give you actual timelines, but I will certainly clue you up as soon as we are ready to sell numero 2 to you. Okay, this is our second fragrance. If you love a fragrance that's going to take you on a journey, you are certainly going to enjoy this. Okay, it's an extrait de parfum. This time it's 100 ml. I was about to say it's 120 ml. This was our first fragrance. It's still available on our website www.macedonperfumes.com as we speak. It is discounted, guys, in celebration of the revamp of our website as well as the launch of our new fragrance, so you can still pick up Proud Mary. This is my nose to yours as well as this. Okay, and in other words, I'm saying I was the, what do you call that, creative director, okay, on behalf of Macedon to make the second fragrance, guys. Anyway, this is dry now. Okay, so new Maison Asrar Joy is a happy fragrance. I'm not saying that because it says joy, but it is just an effervescent, you know, bubbly fragrance. You want an energizer, you know, in terms of senses. If you want something that's going to liven you up, it's just one of those bubbly ones. It opens up with a pop of that pear and plum. So this is going to be a fruity burst. That's what you're going to get there at the top, and the pear and plum is going to be working together with the berries as well. So there's going to be a jamminess to this fragrance amidst the top notes. Okay, it's mostly the pear that I get that gives me that burst, okay, that fruity burst, of course, working with the berries and stuff. And then it kind of isolates the berries, where I cannot say this is like a berry, fruit, juicy, jammy, you know, type of fragrance. No, but it keeps the pear, and then the pear is the one that transitions into the mid. And in that mid, the pear then meets a tuberose. A tuberose that's sort of like powdery, lotiony, even creamy, okay, but it is a vivid tuberose. So this then becomes a fruity floral with that creaminess. The note pyramid also lists cream. It has creamy notes, right? So I guess this is perhaps a way of describing the creaminess that goes on in here. It's a creaminess that is beyond what tuberose is doing alone, but it's not the sort of creaminess that then pushes this one to become a gourmand. He lists the note of cashmere, which is a good suspect to put there because it's very flowy. Okay, so that's what I can say, guys, about Maison Asrar Joy. There have been comparisons of Joy to Valentina Donna Born in Roma, the cream one. I don't have that fragrance, so I'm talking about this particular one in its own capacity. Guys, is going to be a recap of a fragrance that I came with here. I had a vial from Haiji Scent. This is not from Haiji Scent. This is fragrances that were decanted to me. by my partner. But I did say in the video where I came with Milky Way from Maison Asrar that I was going to come here and give you feedback of whether the fragrance transforms, whether it gets better, and I can certainly say it does. This is creamy, it's milky, it's rich. I like the murky color of the juice. We have been given this type of juice by some fragrance brands representing musk fragrances. Maison Asrar gave us musk, pomegranate musk this. Latafa gave us oud mood musk. That fragrance or those fragrances come in a murky liquid like this. But in this case, this is representative of like a condensed milk, powdered milk type of a feel, cream, okay, because this is super creamy with an even slightly toasty vanilla in the same fragrance family, guys, as that commodity milk bold, right? Because there's commodity milk plus minus bold. This is gonna be in the same fragrance family as commodity milk bold. I do have that fragrance, wore them side by side, cannot tell them apart, and it gets better with time. So that is the update when it comes to Maison Asrar Milky Way. And then we have Lumiere. Spoiler alert, this is not one of my faves simply because it carries that Herba Pura DNA. The Herba Pura DNA is gorgeous, guys, but it's one of those that kept on coming. In this particular one has more of a greenness or a green accord to it, ozonic, oceanic, watery accord to it, something that you will get even from melon, okay, in it more than the fruits in Herba Pura. Herba Pura is sort of like a presentation of a lot of mixed fruits, like a gang up of juicy fruits. This one gives shine to that leafiness. That is where the differences are with this, but there is going to be something there in the dry down that kind of bounces in between the Herba Pura DNA and whatever this one is doing. So it's not one that I would not wear, but it's not a favorite because it's something that I have come across multiple times. As a collector, I have a lot of them, and it gets to a point where sometimes the excitement is gone, on the first spray, because you're like, you know what I mean? So that is the only thing I can fault this fragrance for. But remember, I said it does highlight that greenness, that leafiness, that even not a zingy, but a citrus, like a green citrus feel about it, a lemony feel about it. So this is Maison Asrar Lumiere. This, for now, I'm going to put it light. So let's just say you could get 4 hours, in Lumiere, and it is also a unisex fragrance. So that's it for the third one. And then next up is Gulf Orchid, and the first one is Bali. And Bali, if you've seen the full bottle, it's definitely a fun summery or perhaps holiday. It's going to remind you of a beachfront holiday, you lazing around, at the side of the pool, on a holiday somewhere. That is what the bottle looks like. It does leave to an extent to that, but there's a lot going on in this fragrance. It lists a note of coconut and mango. The mango in this is sort of like tangy green, one that needs a little bit of some time to ripen, and the same mango is joined by some white florals, but the white florals pushing forward like a stemmy green thing about them. So yes, this to me to an extent is a summer, even tropical scent, spring scent, but there is some gymnastics that are happening in this fragrance where it's not really what I was expecting. Good news is it's not like God of Fire, because when I saw the note of mango, I saw Bali, I was like, I hope it's not like God of Fire. It's not like that. It does have that passion fruit, but everything in it is interpreting as sour, tangy, and green, almost like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe it's this particular decant, I don't know, but that is what I'm getting. It's not a fragrance that I would say is clean and fresh and oh my God. Everything about it is interpreting as unripened. If you've eaten passion fruit, ripened or not, passion fruit is one of those that are going to give you the here. That's what I get here. Now, if you eat the mango and it's not ripe, okay, it's edible, right? But it's not like mushy soft. I also get like, ooh, you know, so that's what this one is doing. Coconut, not so much. It does way later sort of like present a weak, almost creamy thing about it, but it's in between your senses picking it as coconut or as musk, so it's gonna depend. I don't have a problem with this. I like the fact that I have not experienced a number of DNAs that are like this, which is a good thing. That's what you get there from Bali, rolled up for you for about 4 hours, 5 hours. Generally a DNA that's ozonic or fresh, sometimes tropical, tends to lack in terms of lasting power, but it's not a train smash. If you love the DNA, you're going to enjoy it, and you can always reapply it. And next up, guys, is Coco Bianco, and this is one that got me thinking, has Gulf Orchid given us a double whammy here? Because they did give us Vanilla Voyage, if I'm not mistaken, as a fragrance that drew inspiration of Bianco Latte. And the thing is, this is not like that, okay? But if you like Bianco Latte, you're going to like this fragrance. Kind of falls in that fragrance family. And just so that you do not get confused, in terms of if you like, I mean, for instance, I can even put the Milky Way in the same DNA pattern, that if you like this, you're gonna like Gulf Orchid's Coco Bianco, you're gonna like that Vanilla Voyage. All of them are gourmand, all of them are sweet, all of them are creamy. Now back to Coco Bianco itself. This one, guys, has that buttery note together with a coconut. So it's coconut and what feels like a thick, creamy butter. But what I like about the combo of the two is, if you put those, sometimes if they're not done like this, it can be, to me, you know, they can get heady, sometimes even borderline nauseating. I don't get that from this. The two are in check. I can smell the creaminess of the coconut, while I can smell that butter feel about it, making this one a creamy gourmand, but not crossing over to where it's nauseating. And I think the trick there is in how they blended the tonka. This fragrance will incorporate the note of tonka as well as caramel. Right now, the tonka in this gives it like a woody, even spicy feel, and then they put in a vanilla again that gives it almost like a toasty thingy. So those then create the balance in making sure that the creaminess of both the coconut and the butter are not chesty, nauseating, which is something that happens to me. It does list a note of jasmine, but truly speaking, this to me is very gourmand, where the floral aspect of it is there, you know, just intertwined in everything else, but not being the star of the show. So this is Coco Bianco. It is said to be in the same fragrance family as that the Odora Creme Brulee. If that helps, it helps. So the last one is going to be Vanilla on the beach. Okay, we're gonna spray it here, and while it dries, I'm just gonna give you a quick reminder again, guys, to check out our website, macedonperfumes.com, www.macedonperfumes.com, and you can still pick up Proud Mary's actually discounted in celebration of the revamp of our website. If you go and check it out, you will see how, guys, it's top notch. So we've been doing things on our own, and we've been learning, and there was nothing wrong with how we started, but we're also improving as we go. So if you check out the website, you will find Proud Mary extracted for sale. You can pick up the few bottles that are left there. Remember, this was a limited release, and in a few days time, I'm going to come here and announce the sale of this one, our second fragrance, Numero 2. Okay, and it's an extracted before. This is 100 mls, and I cannot wait to hear what you have to say about it. So to wrap up, guys, Vanilla on the Beach, I have sprayed here. This is mixed fruits, dry fruits in booze and spices. Yeah, and the spices here are going to be the usual suspects that give a fragrance, that density, okay, that richness about them, which is red spices, let me put it that way, okay, cinnamon, cumin, those kind of spices, but not isolating one. The one thing that you're going to get from this fragrance almost immediately is that boozy feel about it, and I see why some people are getting that Vanilla Royale Sugared Patchouli by Kayali, but I have that fragrance. I have that fragrance, and I have the Paris Corner December Vanilla, right? Which Paris Corner was a dupe to Vanilla Royale. And this does not start off like Vanilla Royale Sugared Patchouli, except for how boozy it is and how it has that earthy patchouli and the vanilla. And I know you could be sitting there saying, oh, that's much ado about nothing. To me, I do get the differences. The differences here being what I perceive as like sticky dates, you know, like dried sticky dates or raisins. And those seem to just be hovering around that booze. And then the vanilla is almost like not an afterthought, but it's not like really in your face. It's this to me is more of a boozy, even fermented sour feel, you know, of a fragrance where if you had grapes, they sit there for a long time and you suddenly realized, oh, I left those grapes in my boot. The first thing that comes is that like a fermented, even like a sourish accord. That's what I get in here, carrying a woody, boozy, even whiskey thing. But yes, those who say they do get that Keali La Sugar Royale, it's understandable. If you like that particular fragrance, you're going to like this. But to me, this is coming across as more of a sticky dates twist feel of a fragrance than a 101 with that Vanilla Royale Sugared Patchouli. Oh, I got it right. It's a tongue twister. And that's it, guys. That's the last one on the lineup. This is going to be for anybody who loves boozy fragrances. This is really going to make your day. I do like this fragrance. Even the Vanilla Royale, I loved that. Even the what you call it, the Paris Corner one, I loved that. And what I can say are the differences with this one from Gulf Orchid is this, to me, is presenting as thick already. It doesn't feel like one I have to sit through, which is what I had to do with the Paris Corner clone. Of course, I can't speak of the Vanilla Royale Sugared Patchouli, though I have it in its original formulation. I believe that one was doing what it was supposed to do. You get what I'm trying to say. This one has got this richness about it. This one is more exciting. I like it. I think it's a twist, and the booziness in this is not shy. It's really, really generous. It yo-yos between boozy and sour in a fermented feel, and then of course, you know, that finish of the earthy patchouli, like a damp earth type of thingy. I like this. It also, something in this reminds me of Kilian's Back to Black, and that is sort of like a moldy mildew feel of a fragrance. But anyway, that's a story for another day. CeeChronicles is my name. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me today. Let's meet in the comment section where we discuss more about fragrances. Remember to turn on post notifications, guys. That way you get to be notified anytime I upload a video. Like and share this one, guys. And remember, the smelling good is a form of good manners. Cheers.